One of the more things I want to touch, we talked about it at the backstage, that karate is usually marked as Japanese
Right.
martial art, where actually the origins are coming from China.
Right.
Can you clarify on that for everyone?
Oh yeah. So without getting into too much detail, because that would take some time.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, Okinawa was not Japanese territory. I'm not very well acquainted with Japanese or Okinawan history, but back then, which is like, I don't know, I don't want to lie to you now, but must have been maybe 17th, 18th century. Okinawa was always threatened from by Japan, by Japanese invasion. So if I'm not mistaken, the king of the Okinawa, or some part of Okinawa at least, he asked the Chinese emperor for help. So the Chinese emperor, China relocated Chinese families from Fujian province to Okinawa to boost the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these people were martial arts practitioners. So, but they kept martial arts to themselves. Even nowadays, a lot of Chinese people are like, "Oh, you're a foreigner, we're not going to teach it." And back then, it was like this times 100. So what happened was the next generations of Chinese people in Okinawa were martial arts practitioners, and they developed it locally into something that was called, I think they just called it.
Was it made on purpose that they moved martial art participants, or it was just that area that they moved from?
Yeah, the area, because it was
Uh-huh.
populated densely by people who were like Fujian province,
Mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm.
mentioned when we were talking about secret societies. A lot of these people were martial arts practitioners. So after, I don't remember how many generations, maybe second, third generation, people who were born and raised in Okinawa, but they were descendants of the Chinese, they were like, hey, I want to learn more about that. So they traveled back to China to learn
To
more.
master it.
Yeah, and then they developed something which is which I think I don't want to mess it up because I don't speak Okinawan, but in Okinawan language, it's called I think it's called um, uh, Todi or something like that. Like if anybody
We'll
watching
double
this,
check. Yeah.
yeah,
Right. Ask them to do
but
it.
this basically means Chinese hand, Chinese,
Mm-hmm,
as in
mm-hmm.
is in Tang Shou. Because Tang, the name of the dynasty, it refers to stuff that is Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So it was originally called Chinese hand.
And
But then, at the beginning of the 20th century, when Okinawa became the Japanese territory, they wanted to Japan wanted to use traditional martial arts to promote physical culture and fitness, and they discovered this amazing, cool new thing called Chinese hand. They were like, we want to use that, but the problem is this Chinese hand name is, our main rival there. We can't
exactly.
be practicing and promoting something that is called Chinese hand. So somebody proposed, and it's not clear who, but I think the guy, if I'm not mistaken, I think the guy was named Hanashiro Chomo, the guy who wrote a book about karate. He used a different different character, which was pronounced the same in Japanese, because Chinese hand in Japanese was karate.
Oh,
But they
wow.
ditched that kara character and they replace it with another character that's also pronounced kara, which is
Kara.
empty hand. And from that point
They switched it from Chinese hand to the empty hand.
yeah. So because they say, oh, it's a martial art of fighting without weapons, so this name will be suitable as well. So they moved away from associating themselves with China, and they changed the name. But I also, from that point on, obviously a lot of Japanese people started practicing it because it was new, and all the stuff that is new is like cooler than the
Oh,
old
they gave
stuff.
it to the people and everything.
So, and also people wanted, into the 20th century, they wanted to use it as a sport event. So, naturally, if you, as we mentioned before, if you want to turn a martial art into an athletic event, you need to introduce some changes into it. And so the changes that the Japanese introduced made what some people call the Japanese version of karate,
Mhm.
which is what we think, like what people in the West think of karate when they think karate, right?
Mm.
That it is Japanese. It's not really Japanese. And even today, there are two distinctive versions. There is a Japanese karate
Karate and
and
the
Okinawan
original.
karate.
I have to say, Lucas, that's absolutely amazing how much you know about that. Cheers to that. Cheers to this knowledge, man.